If you want the single headline that connects everything today, it's this. The AI era is turning into an infrastructure arms race, and the price tags are starting to look like national budgets.
And the twist is, those budgets aren't just for bigger models. They're for agentic systems, robotics, security, and compliance. The full stack that turns cool demos into real operations.
Reuters is stacking deal after deal. Amazon talking about up to $25 billion into Anthropic. Anthropic talking about spending over $100 billion on cloud over the next decade. Oracle and OpenAI talking about a $300 billion cloud contract. And the Stargate build-out narrative, up to $500 billion.
Meanwhile, on the ground, Accenture's got humanoid robots doing visual inspections in a working warehouse and piping results into SAP. That's the why behind the compute, physical AI plus enterprise workflows.
Let's start with the big money, because it signals what's becoming table stakes. Reuters basically says, everyone is pouring billions into compute, chips, and data centers. And they name-check Amazon, Anthropic, OpenAI, Oracle, NVIDIA, AMD, and more.
Right. And what I want viewers to notice is the shape of the investments. It's not just buy GPUs, it's long-term cloud commitments, dedicated capacity, networking, security features like confidential computing, the plumbing that lets you put AI in production without leaking data.
Storage Review covers NVIDIA and Google Cloud pitching the AI hypercomputer updates at Google Cloud Next, including A5X bare metal built on Vera Rubin, NVL72 rack-scale systems, plus A4-A4X variants, and smaller G4 instances. They're basically offering everything from fractional GPUs to full racks.
And they frame it explicitly for agentic and physical AI. The article even lists robotics simulation, digital twins, multimodal inference, the workloads that explode once you're not just chatting with a bot, but coordinating work across tools, sensors, and processes.
They also name early adopters. OpenAI running inference workloads, including ChatGPT, on those GB200, GB300-based instances, and Thinking Machines Lab using A4X Max instances for training.
Which matters because it shows the frontier labs are acting like anchor tenants. That tends to pull the rest of the ecosystem, enterprise buyers, into the same platforms.
Pragmatic takeaway. If you're a business leader watching this, you can't assume compute is cheap, abundant, or always available. Your AI roadmap is now a supply chain problem.
Exactly. And supply chain meets governance. The more you depend on a specific model family or cloud configuration, the more you need evaluation, fallbacks, and cost controls, especially if your plan is agents everywhere.
Let's connect that to the enterprise layer. TechCrunch covered OpenAI's Frontier, basically a platform for enterprises to build and manage AI agents like employees.
Yes. The key concept is agent management, permissions, tool access, onboarding, and feedback loops. That's OpenAI acknowledging that the hardest part isn't model IQ, it's operational control.
TechCrunch cites HP, Oracle, State Farm, and Uber as customers, and mentions OpenAI's enterprise deals with ServiceNow and Snowflake. That's the integration story.
And it also tees up why regulation and internal governance are converging. If your agent can connect to external apps and data, you need tight role-based access, logging, and monitoring. Otherwise, one misconfigured agent becomes an incident.
Here's my business framing. We're watching the birth of a new middle layer. Not AI apps and not raw models, but AI operations, like DevOps for agents.
And the ROI math changes. The early pitch was LLMs make individuals faster. The next pitch is agents execute multi-step workflows. That's where cost savings and headcount pressure show up, which brings us to layoffs.
Meta Intro's tracker claims at least 30,000 job cuts in 2026 have been attributed to AI adoption. They also mention that more than 15 tech companies announced or completed layoffs in just 2 weeks of April.
Important caveat, attributed to AI is a messy bucket. Sometimes AI is real displacement, sometimes it's cover for cost cutting, but either way, the messaging matters. Executives are normalizing AI efficiency as a reason to restructure.
For viewers, treat this like a weather system. You can't control it, but you can dress appropriately. Build leverage around workflows that are harder to automate. Owning system design, evaluation, compliance, and cross-functional change.
I'll be very specific. If you work in operations, learn how to map processes and identify where an agent can safely act. If you're in analytics, learn evaluation and monitoring. If you're in product, learn governance and data access patterns. Those become the human-only choke points longer than most people think.
And for founders, the opportunity is not yet another chatbot. The opportunity is building the rails that let companies deploy agents without chaos, audit logs, permissioning, testing harnesses, cost governors.
The most concrete physical AI story today is Accenture, Vodafone Procure and Connect, and SAP piloting humanoid robots in a warehouse.
This is where people roll their eyes and say, okay, but can it pick boxes? That's not even the point yet.
Right. In this pilot, the robot is doing inspections. Accenture says it received tasks through SAP Extended Warehouse Management, did autonomous visual inspections, and pushed findings back into SAP, damaged or misplaced products, pallet stacking and weight distribution issues, unused storage space, and hazards like obstacles in aisles.
That's a business story. Turning the robot into an always-on mobile auditor that feeds the system of record. That's how you get ROI without asking a humanoid to match human dexterity on day one.
And they mention the broader stack: digital twins for training, robot brain for interaction, and NVIDIA Omniverse tooling. That lines up with the cloud infrastructure segment: simulation plus deployment plus monitoring.
If you run warehouses, factories, hospitals, you should be watching this closely. The first win won't be full autonomy. It'll be augmented operations, better visibility, fewer safety incidents, fewer inventory errors. Now to policy. Transparency Coalition's April 24th legislative update is basically a scoreboard of state laws moving fast.
The pattern is crystal clear: chatbot safety, especially for minors, plus deepfake and synthetic media rules, plus restrictions on AI and healthcare decisions.
They cite Nebraska's LB 1185, Conversational AI Safety Act signed April 17th, and Tennessee's SB 1700 Chat Act passing both chambers. There are also multiple bills around provenance and disclosures.
And if you zoom out to the EU timeline, DLA Piper notes the EU AI Act's staged rollout, with general-purpose AI model obligations applying August 2nd, 2025, and a big wave of high-risk requirements hitting August 2nd, 2026.
DLA Piper also notes a draft code of practice on transparency for AI-generated content that's planned to be finalized by June 2026. Translation: labeling and disclosure expectations are hardening.
So the operational takeaway for businesses: assume you will need content provenance, clear user disclosures, and guardrails for sensitive domains, especially anything that looks like therapy, medical advice, or child-directed engagement.
Rapid fire, 3 quick hits.
1. The longevity market is still funding ambitious biology. A roundup notes, Life Biosciences closed an $80 million Series D to fund its Phase 1 ER100 trial for partial epigenetic reprogramming.
2. Immorta Bio is claiming very large lifespan extension numbers in mouse models. Around 73% increase in mean survival, and about 84% extension of median lifespan. But it's preclinical, so treated as interesting, not proven.
3. The same longevity roundup points to ARPA-H's PROSPAR program for biomarkers of aging and faster health span trials, which could matter because measurement is the bottleneck for turning longevity ideas into clinical reality.
That's the breakdown for today. The stories are moving fast, but the playbook for staying ahead doesn't change.
If any of this hit close to home for your industry or your role, the newsletter goes deeper every week. Link in the description.
We're Marcus Reed and Sarah Chen. This is your AI future. Subscribe if you want to keep up, and we'll see you tomorrow.